This past Saturday, I went undercover as a journalist to a Tesla protest, one of the many Tesla protests as part of this Tesla breakdown campaign and movement that's going on. And I really want to share this footage with you guys. And welcome back to my channel. My name is David Kate. If you could please smash that subscribe button, that always helps out. But yeah, let's talk about these Tesla protests that are going on. You know, some people are saying these are paid protests, or some are saying that this is the best resistance that Democrats can show.
So I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
Well, I'm here to actually debunk all of that stuff. And first thing first, I mean, what would you imagine on a Saturday afternoon in Atlanta, Georgia, swastikas, Canadian flags, and purple hair, all in the same region, right? All in the same little perimeter, essentially. That was my Saturday afternoon. Hopefully, your Saturday was a little bit better than that. But the very first thing that I want to start off with is just kind of something funny, right? And it's you guys are looking at it, it's at my tweet, and this tweet chain went pretty viral. At this moment, it has 250,000 views. Elon Musk hasn't seen it yet. Hopefully, he does. Maybe we can push it forward. But what I tweeted was that, at a Tesla protest in Atlanta, Georgia, I saw this big, sign with a swastika on it. It was the first thing that I saw. Obviously, they're trying to say, Musk, fascism, all this stuff. But I saw this big swastika, and I like couldn't think to myself, like, are these people actually taking the time to draw swastikas? So I asked them, I asked the protester who drew the swastika symbols on their protester, and let's watch this video together.
Can I know, like, who draws the swastika signs?
What's that?
Who draws the swastika signs?
Who draws it?
Yeah, like, who draws them? Like, you guys get the posters made already, or?
No, I made this.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, so there's obviously a lot of great videos, and we'll get into like the different videos of me asking you, how did you find out about this protest? Where did you learn it? Like, why are you here in the first place? Why are we protesting outside of Tesla? But this is interesting because I think this perfectly illustrates to you guys that these people just don't have a really reason why to be out there in the first place. None of these people are, disenfranchised MAGA voters or even paid protesters. These people are 50 plus majority white people that don't necessarily have anything better to do on the weekend. They voted for Kamala. They're really upset about what Trump has been doing in the last 2 months, the drastic changes that he's bringing into the federal government. So they're out there protesting. Now, I want to scroll down a little bit to the next one, and we're just going to freeze it here. So on the frame, I asked, well, first of all, the tweet says a protester shows me a flyer that she was given by the organizers of the hashtag Tesla takedown event. And that's really important, right? That that there's flyers being passed around by organizers. What it tells me is that, yeah, it may not be individuals that are being paid by George Soros to be out there, but the organizers, that is the key thing here. The organizers are most likely are paid by some sort of, group that is tied to George Soros funding, right? And we'll have an article in just a second where we'll explore that. But right, these individuals out here, let's just read what it says on the flyer. It says Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet, has called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. Now his Doge team is gutting the agency. Right. And then they say, well, he answered to the 20 million who depend on Social Security to survive. I don't know how many more times the administration, Elon Musk, Republicans in general can say that nobody is coming after your Social Security, after your Medicaid, your Medicare. All of that is left-leaning or just left-leaning narratives that they like to come up with, right? And what I want to do is just read the official White House statement, right? The Trump administration will not cut Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid benefits. President Trump himself said it over and over and over again. Elon Musk didn't say that either, right? Basically, what he said is that there's a lot of waste, there's a lot of fraud in the federal government, in these entitlement programs, and we want to cut those, right? We want to identify those and cut those. And, this is what I like. I really like this source. So, the U.S. Government Accountability's Office, this is a congressional watchdog. It testifies under oath to Congress on an annual basis about what do they find in their findings when it comes down to the fraud, abuse, and efficiency in the federal government. And here on the White House, it says that they've been able to find $521 billion annually. I want to actually go to the actual, website itself, U.S. Government Accountability's Office. And for the previous year, under oath, testified in last year's fiscal year, they've estimated $162 billion in what did they call improper payments. I like this chart breakdown here because it does a perfect breakdown of the actual improper payments and the fraud. They say that there's about $54 billion just last year in Medicare, another $31 billion in Medicaid. When you combine those together, that's roughly $85 billion of fraud. So when we say, okay, Republicans want to cut $88 billion annually from Medicaid and Medicare and just in general healthcare institutions, we realize that they're not cutting away anything away from people that actually depend on the programs. They're taking away where they believe there is fraud after they identify it. I want to go down to the next one, right? I asked some protesters, how did they hear about the protest outside Tesla's dealership, right? And this protester, well, let's just watch the video actually.
Finally, a unique sign. What do you guys like protesting today specifically? Is it electric vehicles, Tesla, Musk? What are we protesting specifically today?
It's Musk.
I
mean, not everybody's on the same front, but it's mostly Musk's abuse of power, and he's ruining his own company, which is why I made this because it's like his stock is going down.
The one thing that I'm worried about that is that I know that a lot of our, state pension fund depends on the Tesla stock. We've invested almost $500 million into it, so that impacts our pension funds.
I think it's bad what's happening, what he's doing to his own company, So I don't want to see Tesla go under, but I do want it to be right sized.
The one problem I have is that, he only owns 10-13% of Tesla stock, right? So protesting outside of Tesla Atlanta, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that work there are registered Democrats. It's kind of, it defeats our purpose.
I don't have any problem with people buying Teslas either, although there are people trying to discourage people. But
so why outside of Tesla? Is that what I'm trying to figure out?
Because of his connection.
Because
he
owns...
wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Musk. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Tesla itself.
That's why I'm concerned. That's why I'm confused why outside of Tesla, but
if you look at all the signs, they're almost all focused on Musk.
Okay. Yeah. So wouldn't we be protesting outside of Capitol Hill, for example?
Oh yeah, there's stuff going on all over the place. It's just that this is a point of focus so people can come together in one spot and get attention.
Who organizes this kind of stuff? Is it on Facebook groups?
You go online, there's a site called Tesla Takedown, which is how I found out about it.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right. Well,
as you guys can see, I'm undercover, right? I'm trying to engage with these protesters as much as I can. I'm trying to understand why are they out there in the first place. I went on TeslaBreakdown.com to see what it actually is about, and it's just a landing page essentially. It's a place where all of these groups that are receiving massive amount, I'm talking about millions and millions of dollars from George Soros to organize all of this stuff in the first place. It's just a place where they can do all of this stuff. So it says Tesla Takedown, a peaceful protest movement. In a second, we'll see not such a peaceful individual, but they definitely weren't violent. It was just interesting to me. All I did was come up to them and ask them, can I see your sign, right? But they say sell your Teslas, dump your stock, stop Musk now, join us, right? And when you click on the Get Involved tab, it says take action at Tesla showrooms everywhere. Sell your Teslas, dump your stock. And in a second, we're going to laugh about why it's so. It's like it's like they're shooting themselves in the foot when they're saying let's sell our Teslas, let's dump the stock. We're encouraging the stock to be down. We'll see in a second why that is shooting yourself in the foot, but. This is, people just see this on Facebook probably. They don't have anything better to do. They're pissed off at Trump. They're pissed off at dismantling the federal Department of Education and the federal government in general and all this various stuff. So what's better to do on a Saturday morning in Atlanta, Georgia, where a majority of individuals are Democrats who voted for Kamala? Well, it's to go and protest at a place where there's probably employees who voted for Kamala and are pissed off that you're doing that in the first place, right? So that's kind of like the conversation that I got to with this next protester. Let's just get into it.
Okay,
What is it?
That I recycle my protest signs. This was from the Black Lives Matter march.
Oh, I got it. Are y'all protesting specifically Tesla today, or Elon Musk, or electric vehicles? Musk. And why outside of Tesla?
Because that's what he's most associated with that we can gather.
I think he owns about, what, 13% of Tesla, though. So
Yeah.
what's the message today when outside of Tesla?
My message is not anything wrong with Tesla. Like that sign up there, support Tesla, reject Musk.
Okay. So why outside of Tesla, I guess?
It's where they set it up.
All right, so I guess I didn't get that out of her just yet. It's going to be in the following video, but that was also funny to me, right? I'm asking her, like, why are we protesting outside of Tesla? Well, she says, it's what people associate the most with Musk. Well, at the end of the day, right, when we look at it, I kind of looked this up before I went there to see if it's actually true. But Elon Musk, only owns 13% of the stock, right? The other shareholders are the individuals that buy the most single-family homes in the United States, Vanguard and BlackRock. Okay, and here I engage in that actual conversation with this individual that has a very unique poster, I have to say. Don't buy swastikas, whatever. But I asked her, like, why are you guys doing this outside of Tesla in Atlanta, Georgia? Like, shouldn't you be outside of Capitol Hill, for example, or something like that? And listen to them.
Why outside of Tesla? Like, now, why not like at Capitol Hill, for example? Why at Tesla?
Because there's a Tesla dealership here.
But why Tesla? Because, like, he only owns 10 or 13% of it. So that's why because look, we're in Atlanta. I'm sure everybody that works there probably voted for Kamala. It may not be the best place to protest and piss them off and help our cause. Because I'm a Democrat, so I'm trying to, help the resistance, but I don't want to disenfranchise my own voters, if that makes sense.
I would say, at least for me, it comes from the fact that a lot of folks who bought Teslas bought it because of climate change. Right?
Okay.
And now you have somebody like Musk essentially taking the Tesla brand and shitting.
What is it?
Taking the Tesla brand and shitting.
Okay.
And the damage that man has done with all of the shit that Dodge is doing, even though Tesla itself might not be the ones who are causing it, sadly, his name is still associated with that company.
Even though he owns just 10% of the stocks?
Matter.
Well, he owns 13%.
13,
And that 13% is highly leveraged.
I just know a lot of my friends own Tesla. That's the main thing, right? Like, I don't want to piss them off, and they care about the climate, but they don't. One of them got their Teslas ruined the other day because some protester threw it on there, right? I don't think that helps the cause whatsoever, right?
Any type of violence.
I don't either.
The thing is, Trump, Elon acts like he invented Tesla. He didn't. Two guys invented Tesla, and then he took it over. He pushed them out.
My point exactly. I don't know why we're out here.
So, it's because everybody associates Tesla with Musk, and that's Musk.
We need to go protest at the Capitol because this ruins our Democrats' favorability
There is
rating.
that April 5th hands-off that is from Piedmont Park to the Capitol.
Oh, somebody just told me about that. See, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because here I feel like we're pissing off our own voters because we're in a deep blue part of Atlanta. A lot of my friends got their Teslas.
How many Tesla drivers have driven by home?
Oh, I'm sure.
But this scares Elon.
Yeah.
So standing out here, it does.
I think it scares the employees here who, again, I think voted for Kamala Harris, and that may not be the best for us. Kamala Harris, yeah. I'm from the South. I speak 2 other languages. It's hard for me to say her name, so.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm on the same boat.
You're in the same boat, okay, exactly, see? But okay, I appreciate it. I'll see you guys at the April 5th.
If he wasn't scared.
So why here? Like, why not at Capitol Hill, right? And the idea of why I'm asking why not at Capitol Hill is because what you'll learn in a second, a lot of Tesla stock stock is tied to the state's pension fund, right? That means that the individuals that they're trying to protect at the most, right? These individuals that rely on entitlement programs or state pensions, right? They're hurting them, right? Because if the Tesla stock is going down, that is impacting the amount of funds that are in the state pension. That may be minimal, right? Like we're talking about 100 million, 200 million out of the overall couple billion or so in the state pension fund. But that still is a big impact on the state pension fund, right? So what am I talking about exactly? Let's just go to it.
And the Canadian flag, are you Canadian? No, just in solidarity?
In solidarity, absolutely.
Can you let me know, are we protesting specifically Tesla or Elon Musk out here?
Kind of a little bit of both.
A little both?
Because if
why
you buy a
Tesla?
If you buy a Tesla, you put money in his pocket. If you put money in his pocket,
that's but he only owns 10% of the stock, right? Because look, we're in deep blue Atlanta. Some people that work in there probably voted for Kamala.
I drive a Tesla, man.
Okay, so you drive a Tesla, so you know, right?
Yeah.
And my other concern with the stock is that when it plunges, that hurts the state pension because a lot of our state invested into Tesla. So I'm a little concerned with this because if we're trying to get Democrats on board, gain popularity back, it seems like we're doing it at the worst place possible.
No,
okay.
Because right now I can't afford to dump my Tesla, so I'm stuck with it.
Okay.
There is now car dealers that will not accept the Tesla and trade in because so many are getting dumped.
Okay.
So, here's what I see. The stock is crashing. Dylan is going to dump his stock and walk away, and then we can rebuild Tesla.
Okay, fair enough.
So the stock is crashing. After it crashes, Elon Musk will leave the Tesla, and then we can rebuild Tesla. A lot of right? Which is like collectivism, right? Red flag right there. We'll get into that in another video. But that's the crazy thing to me. And the last thing that I want to kind of leave you guys on is that at the end of the day, these people were organized, right? And I have a beautiful article I just want to touch up on. The New York Post did a great expose about this. Here are the 5 radical leftist groups protesting Elon Musk, one of which received $7.6 million from George Soros. I ran into one of these organizers, right? And they actually did what is called tagging individuals. I've been to plenty of protests, which are organized by George Soros entities. And it's a common tactic by these individuals to tag people. What does tagging mean? Well, first of all, they'll have an organizer go around and actually photograph, video the individual. They will then send it to their actual organizers, like the big groups and whatnot, who will create databases geotagging the location, the pictures, and then we'll do research to identify who I am, to have essentially a profile of me, of the areas, to know when I'm coming, essentially. Let's look at one of these George Soros paid organizers.
Are we registering people today? Can you tell me what we're doing out here today? Does George Soros pay you to do this?
Right. And again, it's not the first time this happened. It's not going to be the last time this happened. But again, guys, swastikas, Canadians flags, and purple hair. Oh, I can't leave you guys without showing you guys this. The most peaceful, tolerant left. Let me show you guys them.
See what our sign says?
Why don't you get lost?
Why do I have to get lost? I'm on a public sidewalk. I'm on a public sidewalk. Relax. I'm documenting this history. I'm looking at y'all's signs. I thought this tolerant left? No?
No tolerant left here whatsoever, right? No tolerant left here whatsoever. So, but yeah, we'll leave it with this. And I appreciate you guys for watching this. If you guys want to see more of my work like this, make sure that you subscribe. And I appreciate all the likes and comments, and see you guys at the next video.